All right, we're going to see if it works this time. Choose to have it work. I just went 2 rounds and it was like, nope, I don't want to do that. So we'll see what's going on. I'm just checking here real quick. See if we're live. It looks like it. Let me check the sound. I just went 2 rounds and it was like, doesn't work. Okay. Yay, it's working. I was like, okay, I choose to make it work this time. All right. So, how to deal with negative people during the holidays or anytime really, but the holidays just, there's a lot more happening, right? And sometimes we ourselves get trapped in that negativity energy, right? So this can be even for ourselves sometimes. All right, so let's talk about some strategies we can use to help us get through the holidays around negative people, right? And sometimes it's just people being negative, but sometimes this also applies to just like we have an energy around us. And sometimes it's just a matter of like the energy of the room, or maybe someone's not being negative per se, but their energy is just kind of off. Or like if you've ever been somewhere where like you leave and you're like, wow, that was really draining. Or, um, you know, when you're around and it's the victim mentality, right? So just kind of like the energies. Some people call it auras, some people call it like negativity or victimhood, or sometimes it's even referred to as like energy vampires, right? And they just kind of like suck the energy out of you. Okay. So let's talk about strategies that we can use to prevent that. And of course, like I try to implement these as well, but nobody's perfect. And so, like, they're good to know and they're good to have and practice, but just know, like, if you forget, it's no big deal, right? We just try again. All right. So, the first one is before you even go anywhere, right? Or if you know there's someone specific that you have in your mind that you're like, oh, they're just so draining, or oh, they're just so negative. I'm not sure if I can handle that. Um, what you can do, and what I like to do, is to create like visualize a shield, right? Just like mine's kind of like iridescent and it's like strong, but it's a little wavy in front of you or like encasing you. Okay, just like an invisible shield, like your personal bubble, right? And have that of like, this is my energy shield, and things don't get past that. I'm not going to let anything get past that. Any negative comments that people say, or any like dings that people try to have, or, pushing my buttons, it's just going to hit the shield and it's just going to bounce right off. Right? Take like 2 minutes of building the shield. Okay, so that's like one strategy. Another strategy, excuse me, that I use is to remember or to remind myself that I am not responsible for the way that people react or for other people's actions. Okay. Like I stem from people pleasing. Where are all my people pleasers? Okay. And what happens with people pleasers is we tend to take on other people's emotions and energies. Like we absorb that, hence the shield, right? Of like, oh my gosh, that person's upset. I need to fix it, right? And that's just like a habit of people pleasers where we tend to be like, we absorb that. I'm trying to think of the right term. Like, you're the thermometer, but not the thermostat, right? So, like, you're measuring maybe other people's emotions and you're observing that, but you're not actually turning up and down the heat. Okay. And for me, I have to remind myself of that often to know, like, hey, I'm not in control of their response to this. I'm not in control of their emotions. I'm only in control of me. And I'm going to re engage my shield so that I know that's them and their energy and not mine. Okay, that's a huge piece for me, being like sensitive to energies and emotions and being empathetic and being a people pleaser. Okay, is like having that constant reminder. And sometimes we have to have that self-talk, right? I do a lot of self-talk. Okay, the next one is, this kind of goes with like the people pleasing or like the knowing you're not in charge of the reactions. But I also sometimes like to mentally, might seem a little weird or woo or whatever, but sometimes when I'm having conversations with people that are being very negative and they're just complaining about everything, I mentally flip the script. So, like, if you go out to a restaurant and you're with people and someone is just complaining about the service or about the food or about everything under the sun at the restaurant, what I do mentally is like show either gratitude or like mentally positive, right? Like, oh, well, my dish was really good. Or, I can see that that server's really busy because it's the holidays. I've been there. Like, I know how they're feeling. So I'm going to say thank you when my food comes, right? This ice water is so delicious and cold. Okay. Like, really just, I try to mentally counteract what they're saying with a positive statement in my head. Okay. It seems a little weird, but for me, it works and it might work for you too. All right, I'm checking my pop down because I'm standing, but I wanted to check my time. Okay, no, checking my list here. The last one is to like put a mental time or like some buffer or ways to like quote unquote an escape plan. So if you know someone, maybe it's not necessarily that they're negative, but maybe it's that they're very draining and you're like, I can only talk to this person for like 5-10 minutes before they start like sucking my energy, right? Like plan those escapes or buffers ahead of time, right? Like, okay, I'm going to sit with them, or I know that I'm going to go refill my coffee at this time so you can like move along, right? Things like that. And again, if you are stuck with somebody for a long time, that's when I really go into the okay, positive, flip the script. I'm not responsible for their emotions. I'm just, listening, but I have my shield. It's not affecting me. All right. Let me know in the comments if any of these like ring true to you. I hope they're helpful. They're helpful to me. Like I said, sometimes I'm better about it than others. It depends on my own emotional state at the time, but I feel like if I focus on these and apply these strategies before, it's usually helpful. All right. You guys have the best day. Bye.